Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast, folks. I am one of your hosts. My name is John. What was that?
Sorry. English is not my first language. Wrestling is my first language. Let's go.
What a weekend, folks. What a weekend of wrestling. Off top, thank you everyone who tuned in for the stream, whether you're there for the entire 7 hours and 20 minutes or if you just popped in for a little bit. We really appreciate it. We had a great time. And as streams kind of, become more routine, they'll become more routine. But yeah, we got a ton to go over. We're going over what happened on Raw last night. We're going over Evolution. We're going over a little bit of Saturday night's main event. We're going over All In. And then we're kind of just gonna go from there. Folks, if you want to hear us continue chatting, go to a Q&A asked by you. Head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for a bonus weekly podcast on top of this main feed podcast. You already know, check out all the stuff. But I think some business to take care of. First of all, as some of you may know, as most of you I hope should know, a little change up here for the SCW Predictions Championship, right? So, we heard you loud and clear. The SCW Championship will now be split once again in terms of division, right? We have the quizzes and we have predictions. So now the SCW Championship is now going to be the SCW Quiz Championship, if we remember to call it that, doesn't really roll off the tongue. And then we have the reinstated SCW Predictions Championship. Now, they're currently the same belt. We're working on that.
We're working on it.
And to recap that, after a long 6 hours of All In, I won the inaugural reinstated 2.0 Predictions Championship. Then, not much, 30 minutes on the dot?
I counted 30 minutes, possibly on the dot.
Okay.
You lost it, unfortunately, to completely unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah.
I won the title, and
I'm sure you feel great about that.
No, I go back and watch the live stream for various reasons, but watch the live stream, my reaction was, I was completely concerned about our king Seth Rollins, very worried about his maybe potential actual injury.
We'll talk about it.
Conflicting reports, but regardless, I'm the new prediction champion.
And then, so you won it for Saturday night's main event, and then defend it again. It was on the line a third time this weekend for then Evolution. And I was also keeping track of it. And you that was kind of a clear victory. The other two was by one.
I went 5-2, and let me tell you something.
Okay. I think the final score was 5-3. I think I had 3 or 4 points. Yeah. But yeah, you definitely won that one.
The tag team champion, I got it wrong. But that I should have been right because Char and Alexa, super over. We'll get to it.
So we have a lot to get over. But again, shout out the Discord for holding it down all weekend in terms of the predictions. I think I got bronze in one of them. I'm not really sure. But I'm coming for that gold. But yeah, shout out everyone. It's a weekend that really shows how great the community we got here is, and it's been electric. So we got that out of the way. We got the Predictions Championship. One little thing before we get into the real meat and potatoes. Like I said, crazy weekend of wrestling. God bless you if you watched everything, right? All In, Great American Bash, if you somehow watched that. Saturday night's main event, Evolution, and then I snuck in a little indie show before Evolution. I went to the Focus Pro Wrestling show. Shout Focus Pro, shout everyone there. Had a great time. I got my guys in the background now. Shout out. I'm gonna go real quick because I know a lot of people haven't seen the show, so I'm gonna go real quick.
Not yet.
Shout out Love Doug. Shout out TJ Crawford going up against Post Game. My guys Mike and Vinny. Shout out the GCW Championship was online. Shout out Effie. Shout out Brian Bayside. Who else we got? Milo Mira was on the show. Bear Bronson and Griffin McCoy tore it down. That was crazy. Danny Miles was in what I call it? Relaxed rules.
I love that.
Sammy Chaos, Gabby Forza, Kaya, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I think you got it. Of course, Monty Aries retaining the championship in the main event against Channing Thomas. Really great show, electric. Gotta shout out everyone. It was fucking great. They did a cool. I think the tag team match was my match of the night, and they did a cool where Love Doug and TJ Crawford their challengers going in facing post game. Post game are these young guys going to the club and whatever, and they have like a hot shot manager and like a velour suit.
I love that.
So anyway, like electric tag match. Love Doug ends up, Shot Through the Heart is their team name. Shot Through the Heart ends up winning the titles, but the manager on the other side did the old put the leg up on the ropes.
Classic.
So the ref called the bell. A guy runs in and he goes, no, his foot was on the rope. And the ref's like, they did a restart the match. It fucking crazy. And then, post game kind of got the upper hand, and unfortunately retained the titles. Unfortunately, I say in kayfabe because they're all my guys. But electric show. Shout out all those folks again. I'm sure I'm missing names and people, but God, what an electric weekend. Capped off by being, like, you would think. Here's the thing: we came off a 7.5 hour stream, right? I woke up that morning and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go see some live pro wrestling. I haven't gotten enough, so wanted to give that shine to that and all those folks over there.
It goes to show though. Support your local indie shows, promotions.
I'm like, ever since I got into it, I always tell people if if they're a wrestling fan, I'm like, go to the indie show. I met a couple people said hi who were friends of the show. So shout out you who came and said hi, and it's always a good time there. That was crazy. So all right, enough of me. Let's get on to, we're going to start off with some stuff that happened on Raw. I think it's just the most relevant, and we'll kind of dive into.
Kind of move backwards?
Yeah, a little bit.
That makes sense.
So, obviously, like you were alluding to, we do, on Saturday's main event against Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. Seth Rollins suffered an injury, and then making a call on a call of, hey, I'm hurt. Let's put LA Knight over. LA Knight got to hit the finish, which I honestly really like. Like, looking back at it too, I really liked the call of like Seth maybe like, I'm good enough for this one more move. Like, I know that this is an injury, but let me put this guy over who needs it.
Because you've seen in the past, there's been some times where like a wrestler will get injured and they know they have to end the match abruptly.
Sure, they'll just stop.
No, not even that. They'll stick with the finish and they'll have the injured wrestler somehow win the match, and it looks very tough.
I know what you're saying. And then, they'll do an awkward pin. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but very selfless from Seth Rollins to do that. Seemingly because I think he was booked to win, which for me helps me win the prediction championship. But like, what a way for that to happen! But very unfortunate. Prayers to Seth Rollins that he's okay.
Yeah.
You go back to like his original 2014 run where he dropped the world title in that house show match against Kane. I'll never forget that injury. So very concerned for him. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, we didn't get much, if any, of an update. All we really got on Raw was Paul Heyman just being like, "Don't worry about it." Like he has until next June to cash this in. We'll kind of be keeping our eyes out on any sort of reports. I know we won't super get into it, but I know you said that there's been like some conflicting reports, whether how credible or not. But I think the one at least like, whatever, if you want to call it an update or not, the one thing I think we got that's concrete is Triple H that did say it's, quote, it doesn't look good, which is tough to hear.
Don't love that.
But they are being very quiet about the injury, I think for, a multitude of reasons. But like, it's unfortunate. It honestly reminds me of, also a recent injury, the Liv Morgan injury, where it's these two wrestlers who are on top of their division. They are the top heel of the division. They're involved in 6 different storylines. When Liv Morgan went down, that threw like 3 or 4 plans, not out the window, but needed to do a swerve. Same thing with Seth. He is the main guy on Raw with the top faction with the Money in the Bank briefcase. It is really obviously like, who cares about the story? The guy's health is what's most important.
Yeah,
but speaking in terms of just like the wrestling show, it speaks to who he is as a wrestler and where he was in the company. That him going down does affect so much.
Almost everything.
Yeah,
and it's now where do you go with this faction? But like you said, Paul Heyman he said, hey, Seth Rollins has until June, which absolutely he does, and hopefully he'll be back before before then. But like once he does come back, he has that money in the bank still, that contract. You can cash in at any time. And upon his return, seemingly will be a cash in, which will probably be the moment of the year, possibly. So, prayers for Seth Rollins. And then, of course, too, if it isn't as serious, then thank God. And that's even more reason to keep it, like the report says, keep it quiet, because seemingly on camera he was injured. If out of sight, out of mind, then, he was at Evolution in a boot. But who's to say that wasn't just to keep it kayfabe or just precautionary reason, because that did happen 24 hours beforehand. He wanted to see his wife, perform in one of the great triple threat matches in history, honestly. Yeah. That was an incredible match, Lyra, Becky, Bayley. But, Seth, hope he's okay. Where do you go from here with this faction? I mean, I think we've seen a little bit already on Raw. Yeah. Braun Breaker showing the fuck out. Yeah. Very hyped. Very Unreal. Hyped.
I'm even like, God, it's weird how many, like, there's like, John Pollock from Post Wrestling, who I think is very credible and legit. There's like not that we're getting into the dirt sheets or like the conflicting reports or whatever, but like some reports, John Pollock's maybe potentially stating that there was maybe an injury angle plan, and then now there's Meltzer responding that like it's a cover up and that John Pollock's report might not be credible. I don't know.
Oh boy,
dude. It's all I don't know.
Kind of a shitstorm, honestly. And like the injury itself too. Like as we jumped in Status main event middle of the show, and we started watching the Seth Rollins LA Knight match, and I couldn't help to think to myself like, Seth Rollins is kind of flying. Like he maybe had obviously something to prove with knowing that there was a 7-hour pay-per-view right before this, and like wanted to have probably a great match as any professional wrestler wants to do. And I kind of felt like he was kind of going super fast and kind of very intense. And then the injury itself, like he kind of just landed on his knee, non-contact injury, which like in sports like always a bad sign. But like seemingly didn't seem to be too bad looking,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, that's why I'm at least glad he was like, able to like. I'm glad it wasn't one of those things where it was an injury and he was like, I'm sure he was in pain, but like I'm glad he was. He wasn't there like holding the knee and be like, oh no, and call the match off. At least it seemed like it was like he was able to make the call and do the finish for LA Knight. And then I don't believe it's not like he got carted off, which I'm not saying you need to get carted off or to whatever. But my point being is hopefully it was more so of him just being precautious and like, hey, something's wrong. Yeah. This isn't like as severe of an injury as I've had, but it's definitely an injury. I know my body, and I think it was a call like that. Really, really, I don't know, interesting to see what's going on there. I think again, you kind of mentioned that, between CM Punk winning the Gauntlet, which we'll get to, kind of making Braun Breaker the top guy in the faction, Paul Heyman now kind of being the voice of Seth Rollins in terms of the briefcase. Like there's definitely pivots they've made, but you can also definitely tell that, there was definitely some. And we'll get to who returned last night, which people are speculating, like, was that the whole plan? Was that a pivot, an emergency pivot of like, oh, Seth's out, we need the guy, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not much else we can speculate, but
I can't imagine that Roman Reigns is in a situation where it's break glass in case of emergency. Like Roman Reigns was coming back at SummerSlam. I think so, but
you don't think?
I do think so.
Oh, I agree. I think in the back there was that Paul Heyman phone with Roman Reigns' logo on it, and like, let's bring him back 3 weeks early. No, I agree. But obviously we'll move on. But obviously our sentiments are, for everyone's Seth's best. What am I trying to say? Best wishes to Seth. His well-being is the most important, and and hopefully for a quick return. I think we were saying though, and this is kind of the. Hate to say, this is my sentiment at all, but it's not that it's a glass half full sort of thing. But if there's any sort of thing to look at or maybe look forward to coming out of this, is I think we're kind of saying before we start recording is, whenever he comes back, and obviously we're hoping and praying that he comes back 100% good. He can return to the ring, knees fine, everything. When he returns in that however many months, and everyone, his surprise cash-in is going to be that much crazier, as Paul Heyman's been kind of alluding to already, of like, because now it's not Seth Rollins who's had the briefcase on TV for months. Now it's Seth Rollins who's been gone for 7 months. And then that music hitting with him running in with the briefcase.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, he's going to be the biggest face in the company. You know what I mean?
You would think so.
I mean, depending on how he does. You could obviously do it and stay heel.
Right.
But like
who's he cashing in on?
He could cash in on, I don't know, trying to think of someone really over. He could cash in on anyone in the world, and when he returns like that from that injury with that cash in, that place is gonna explode.
Oh yeah.
But we'll move on. But again, our sentiment is, best wishes, speedy recovery to Seth Rollins, and we're gonna keep our eyes on reports and try to hear as much news as we can. But it seems like they're staying kind of quiet about it.
It was funny right before the main event of Evolution, I tweeted out, I'm like, oh, I'm not dumb. Seth, watch out for a Seth cash-in here. Little did I know there would be a cash-in, but oh man, what a night Evolution was.
We'll wrap up Raw, because we did have CM Punk winning the Gauntlet match after Braun Breaker ran the Gauntlet like a monster. So CM Punk earns the right to face Gunther at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship official. The posters are already printed. What a match. Everyone looked great. Braun Breaker looked ridiculous. Fun match. I like the result. Punk makes sense, and we'll kind of go on to the return after. But how do you feel about Punk winning? How do you feel about the SummerSlam match? Thoughts, opinions, concerns?
This match was funny to me because given I am a huge Braun Breaker fan, my favorite wrestler, but the way this match was formatted really made me kind of dislike the faces, that being Jey Uso, who comes in, I think, second to last, gets in the ring, kind of clears Braun Breaker out, and then runs it back mid-match. I'm like, how dare you, sir?
That's a taunt. That's a real taunt.
I was furious. And then like Punk coming out last and just kind of picking up the scraps with Braun Breaker legit running the gauntlet.
Right.
But then, of course, the shenanigans, Bronson Regan involved there. Punk did have to overcome the odds, which I think, was made for a great story in the match. Punk versus Gunther is going to rock. Really looking forward to that. Love the whole Gunther in the skybox thing too, watching down of it. The visual of Punk pointing to the sky was really cool. Very excited, very excited. Kind of a little disappointed in the LA Knights kind of being jobbed out in this match. And Penta too. Like Penta kind of stinks to see him lose, but you got to have winners and losers, and that's the whole thing of a gauntlet match. But awesome.
Early prediction, I think Punk's walking out with the title at SummerSlam.
Ooh.
I think so.
I think Gunther's going to kill him.
See, as quick, there's really two sides of the coin. Yeah. It's like Gunther is finally, and thank God, facing main eventers as a world champion. He's finally, they're finally letting him run with the big boys, right? As he is the world champion. Hasn't had the title for that long. I think, Punk is his first, because who did he face? Gunther. He faced Goldberg. And then who did he face before Goldberg?
Jay.
He faced Jay. Not to discredit Jay. I do think Jay's in that upper echelon. But, like, we need the world champion to be going up against now, the Punks, the Rollins, the Romans. And now it seems like he's running with the big boys. I would hate for Gunther just to lose it already at SummerSlam before he can face these, Roman Reigns and, whatever. But it's CM Punk. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Do they have him lose it here and then maybe wait till 42, WrestleMania 42 to win it? Because, that's always the big stage for Punk to win it. However, though, it might, I don't know. I especially with Seth Rollins out, they might be making a huge pivot here. Or even if it is a pivot, who knows? This could have been the match the whole time. And maybe the idea was Seth Rollins to cash in on Punk and can kind of continue that blood feud. However, if you don't have a Seth Rollins to cash in, you might just still put the title on Punk and have Punk run with it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But then there's so much on the Gunther side where it's like, I don't want him to lose yet.
Me neither, man. Me neither.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I think, and I'm always looking ahead, and it's kind of a bad thing about me. But hey, Gunther just, retired Bill Goldberg, right?
Yeah.
Now I think Gunther has an opportunity to take Punk to the woodshed and take out Punk for maybe. This could be a bloodbath. I personally want to see Gunther do to Punk what he did to Jimmy Uso right before WrestleMania, and just bloodbath, choke out, victory. Punk goes away for a bit. Maybe Gunther can tote that he now retired CM Punk, which was massive heat. And now I've seen, you know, I've seen something where I kind of agree with, which, you know, you fast forward, because you kind of forget after this weekend that John Cena is the WWE champion, right?
Right, sure.
But he's still flying to eventually his last match in December. I now have someone who I think I'm pointing to where I want that to be John Cena's last opponent.
Sure.
And it's Gunther.
Yeah, I've seen the speculations too.
I think that'd be beautiful. And then I think
Makes
too,
sense.
you'd have to have John Cena be a face at that point, which I'm all for at this point. So then Gunther can kind of tote, I retired Bill Goldberg. I retired CM Punk. I retired John Cena, to be and kind of reclaim his throne as this absolute monster, devious European no sock wearing heel. I think that's the direction they could go with this.
Plus, if Gunther drops the world heavyweight at SummerSlam, who else better to continue the WWE Championship lineage than Gunther, right? So you get a world title back on him.
I was thinking maybe Gunther retains, beats Punk, and then because seemingly now
that's also
the brand split's dead.
It also depends on who wins from Cena Cody. Like I was going on the impression that by the end of the retirement tour, which then again that would make Gunther, like, as a heel, it would still mean he's still saving wrestling, and I kind of got storyline mixed up, but yeah, I was kind of under the impression that
my QB1 is taking the title back, John. I don't know what you're thinking.
No, he is probably winning at SummerSlam. Like I said, I kind of got timelines mixed up. But I think all this also depends on who's main eventing, right?
Sure.
Like, it is 2 nights. I would imagine that Cena Cody are main eventing night 2.
Yeah.
Night 1, I think, should absolutely go to Rhea, Io, Bianca. Sorry, not Bianca, Naomi. But also on the other side, you do have a Gunther CM Punk. It's pretty enticing. I don't know.
I could see them opening night 1, perhaps.
Gunther Punk,
yes.
I think, especially with the women not getting the main event at WrestleMania, where Rhea, Io, Bianca did deserve it. I think now you can at least make it up for 2 of the 3 of those women.
It's tough, too, because you're probably going to have a Roman Reigns match somewhere, too. Assuming Braun Breaker, which I'm like, ooh, dream match, let's go.
Oh, Braun Breaker would be nuts.
That's going to be bananas.
That's cool. SummerSlam's shaping up.
It is shaping up. I'm really
Then you got Randy and Jelly Roll.
Oh, boy. We do. And then, too, last night, I got to give the flowers to Bayley and Lyra. A banger.
2 out of 3 falls match.
2 out of 3 falls. And this was hours removed from their banger all-time triple threat match Evolution. So what the hell, man? What water are they drinking where they're just putting out these classics? Women's wrestling right now is just so hot. So shout out Lyra. I'm a little disappointed they're not running the triple threat just back. But I'm sure Bayley will probably still be involved in some shape, form, whatever. But I think this also would be pointing to Lyra maybe dethroning the man Becky Lynch and getting her back her IC title.
Well, I have that. I want us because I have all that kind of lumped in for later when we kind of go over it. No, you're good. We're going for Evolution, but I just want to finish up this segment. We already talked about Roman Reigns coming back, but at the end of the Gauntlet match, we did have a massive pop, like insane pop of Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, OTC1, is back to save Jay, and him and Jay kind of had a moment. He helped Jay up, and then Roman and Punk just kind of had a little bit of a stare down. Punk was even like, "Gonna help me up? Electric.
Remember War Games?
Right. Electric end to Raw. I do agree. I'm kind of surprised that, like, I thought obviously maybe there was a pivot, maybe there wasn't. My expectation was that he was going to return at SummerSlam, but man, he looked great. Hit a massive Samoan drop on Bronson Reed. Yeah. We're feeling. I mean, I think I saw a tweet or like a Reddit comment that was like, he returns multiple times a year, and the pop is still
each time. Yeah, it's basically a meme at this point, but I'll take it. Although I think you pointed it out, and I'm like, I have to agree. One of the all-time worst merch drops I've ever seen.
It's a bad tee. it's not a great tee.
And then you see the Roman Reigns title.
Yeah, the Roman Reigns title is silly. Which, like, what is why? What is it?
I'm sure they'll sell a bunch of them.
Yeah.
People love Roman Reigns, and rightfully so. He's our tribal chief for a reason.
Yeah, the OTC, it's like his Roman Reigns logo, TC, and then just like a different font one. I don't know.
The other shirt's kind of cool though. It's kind of like just the Roman Reigns logo, but big.
I thought that was. Oh, is that a different shirt? I thought that was like on the back.
Oh, that might be the back of it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
That makes some sense, but yeah, Roman Reigns is back. Freaking him versus Braun Breaker. Sign me up. Yeah, incredible. Just like the whole storyline too with him and Paul Heyman. There's so many things to be kind of to clash from. Just reminiscing of WrestleMania where the turn happened, and then wait, this is Roman has been gone since the Raw after Mania, right? So this is
believe so.
Damn.
It's crazy. Time flies.
And I hope he's back for a bit too, not just have this one SummerSlam match
and then gone again, and then he returns 3 months, and then
eventually we're gonna get some eye rolls if he does keep doing this, but this was an electric moment. Monday Night Raw. Thank you very much.
Where do we got? We can go to All In, or we can just jump, stay on the course to kind of go to Evolution. What do you?
I think moving backwards makes the most sense a little bit. Yeah, so maybe Evolution.
Go to Evolution. Yeah. All right, I'm cool with that. Yep. So we have. We'll start at we're gonna really move backwards in all sense of in terms of chronological orderness. So we're starting at the top. We're starting the main event. Naomi cashed in on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley during their match to win the Women's World Heavyweight Championship on what was already an all-timer. I can say it with a lot of confidence that this was one of top 3, if not my new favorite women's match of all time. Io versus Rhea was a 5-star all-time classic. Just stamped on with the cash in at the end. How can you make this better? How can you make this night crazier? Evolution as a whole was crazy. We're talking about everything, but like Evolution was insane. This main event was insane. Naomi coming out, new champ, banger. Absolutely ridiculous, nuts. I love it. Crazy. How do you feel? Naomi, the match, everything.
I feel the same way, but I'm still kind of stuck in my fandom of just like in kayfabe of like Naomi, you cashed in during this match, which I think right now we're in July, we're halfway through 2025. I had this match, I think 4th of my favorite matches of the year, Io and Rhea, and the match didn't really finish. Naomi came and cashed in, and in some words ruined it. But how can I say ruined it when the cash in, so unexpected, glorious moment. I mean, the whole, I like I mentioned earlier, like I love fantasy booking. I love looking ahead. Naomi, I was like, oh, she's gonna cash in on Tiffy at some point. There's no scenario in my head where she cashes in on the World Championship. Shocking, unbelievable moment. So deserved. I think Muscle Man Malcolm pointed out this is her first world title in the WWE since 2017, which is pretty insane to think about. That made me kind of like, oh, wow. And how well deserved this is. I mean, so happy for Naomi, even though she doesn't want me saying that because she is I think many people are saying the best heel in the business right now, which I totally agree with. How she gets on the mic and does this like that squeal thing with her voice that honestly it sounds like nails on a chalkboard and gets me mad, but in a good way. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. That match, Rhea and Io, phenomenal.
Insane.
The DDT spot where Io hits it with Rhea and then right on Rhea's head, and then Io's just reaction like,
and then falling,
and then the ref bump, and then they go out into the crowd and like.
That's the thing. I like that there was 2 halves of this match. It was the first half where like it was real, just like in ring, bada bing, bada boom, and then the ref bump and like let's get crazy, going outside, Io climbing up all that shit and hitting the dive. Absolutely unreal. These two have the best chemistry. The phrase wrestling soulmates has kind of been a thing for a while. And I think the biggest example, which we're going to touch on AEW, obviously, but Swerve and Hangman are the most recent like wrestling soulmates, right? I think there's an argument for maybe a Seth and Cody or a Seth and Punk. We'll kind of know down the line.
Penta's trying to ship it with Dom.
Sure, yep. Penta's going for it with Dom. Yeah. But Io, Rhea, wrestling soulmates just by the any definition of the term. And I think also, like you were saying about the Swerve with, it was unexpected cash in. I think what made it also even more unexpected was the Jade Cargill win over Naomi in the no holds barred match. The match ended with Naomi going through the table.
Jaded.
And she's out. Jade wins. Naomi's out for the count. And then to get that music hit, that run-in at the end, which is also Naomi was also a fantastic match. But yeah, I think that's kind of the reason I combined everything. So it was all Naomi involved. Yeah, I'm really really curious where we're going from here. Well, we know where we're going from here. It was made official by Adam Pearce at SummerSlam, which I think is rightfully so. Which kind of goes on to your point. Like, yeah, the match didn't finish. Okay, fair point. We'll finish at SummerSlam.
Yes.
We are getting Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Naomi for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Put them in the main event. That match is going to rock.
It's going to be glorious. And like going into Evolution, me and you, co-presidents of the Io Sky fan club, we were worried about our girl. We were thinking, oh man, Rhea Ripley, this might be her time to shine. She might be losing the title. Io did lose the title, but it's in such a way where like, I don't mind it. I think this is we're now on the inverse of it. Now we're climbing back up, and I think Io Sky still the best women's wrestler in the world. Showing out the fan reaction. Actually, shout out the fans at Evolution too. The crowd hot for every single match last on Sunday. It was phenomenal. And then Io Sky can have this feather in the cap. Still has never lost to Rhea Ripley, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, I like I like the ending too. So a lot of this match was built on like, mutual respect. These two are friends, but Rhea even just being like, when we get in there, like, I'm gonna destroy you, I'm gonna dismantle you, and Io just being like, all right, like, bring it. So I love that at the end they both lost that match. Neither of them got the titles. They're kind of able to like embrace. I think there was some footage that was caught after the broadcast of them like hugging, kind of helping each other back to the ring, and at the top being like, we did it. So that was really cool. Of like, you didn't have like Rhea winning, and then that makes that like the story can still continue with Rhea still not being able to pin Io, but they're still like best friends, have so much respect for each other. Where that still is going to continue heading into SummerSlam, and even just you don't have to change the relationship between them with now like a winner and loser from that match. They can still be like, damn, we're still going through it together. We both lost. We both got screwed. Yeah.
But even on Raw, Rhea mentioned in her promos, like, I had 2 goals and they still remain the same. 1, to beat Io Sky.
Fire.
And then 2, to reclaim her women's world champion, which could happen at SummerSlam. I really don't know. I really don't have like a take.
I have no
It'd
clue.
be a shame for Naomi to lose the title so soon, but I can kind of see it a little bit. But
I just unfortunately I don't think Io's winning it back at SummerSlam.
Maybe,
that's like as far as my thought goes. If I were to make a prediction now, I would say Naomi should win because she's on fire with the heel stuff. And I think it would be too early for her to lose it. But like, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
You picked against Io in the last triple threat match she was in at WrestleMania. So hey,
I know.
You never know, man. She's the GOAT for a reason.
And then, like I said, we'll kind of touch upon Jade Naomi still also a fantastic match. I do think also like. People are critical then about like Jade winning and like, oh well, if Naomi gets the cash in, it's the heel thing. It makes for a better heel cash in of like, I lost my match earlier tonight. I'm gonna get my win however possible, and my win now is gonna be for the world title, and it's gonna be all heel. And now, which granted, now Naomi is on Raw and doing that, but it gives you so much material now to circle all the way back with Naomi, Bianca, Jade. I was hoping, which granted, like, brand split, draft, I don't know if they would have to switch, whatever. I was hoping for the triple threat, Bianca, Jade, Naomi at SummerSlam. However, I'm not complaining that we got what we got. I think we'll eventually, maybe WrestleMania is when we're kind of getting that triple threat.
Perhaps, yeah. Just goes to the show though, like that was so unexpected that Naomi cash in on Io and Rhea than the because I was as the president of the Jade Carter fan club, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do what they did, kind of like Daniel Bryan in 2014, where Jade finally gets the big one for her, and then immediate cash in Naomi and like ruins the moment, which like that would have been kind of awesome, but a little predictable. This was so unpredictable, and now seemingly it's gonna be Jade versus Tiffy 1-on-1, no Naomi lurking, and goddamn, I think Jade's gonna probably reach the pinnacle, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but like, absolutely insane, man.
We'll move on to Becky Lynch retaining the Women's Intercontinental Championship over Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch retained the IC title over Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley. And like you were saying earlier, a classic of a triple threat match. This was nuts. I don't know how two of these women then went on and had as crazy of a match as they did on Raw. Like you said, 24 hours later, if that. Absolutely crazy. I really loved the ending with, I think seemingly it was Bayley finally getting one on Lyra, and then Becky running in, hitting this like really cool, just like
so
grab the shoulders to flip her over into the pin to get the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this rocked a incredible way to kick off Evolution.
Man, the match starts and the crowd, I mean, obviously just for the moment of the pay-per-view and what this means, on their feet immediately. They know, and this also was kind of the build was criticized for the show, the lack thereof, if you will. Mm-hmm. But this match had the build. This match has a story, and I think it showed. Fantastic match. The nonstop pace and then the constant breaking up of the pins with these three women. Fantastic. And then like you said, that Becky Lynch kind of like how she transitioned to that roll up to interrupt the original pin was amazing, and kind of goes back to the story of this because there's been a few roll ups in this rivalry. So it's been fantastic. And where do we go from here? Well, we know because they again, like we mentioned, they had the number one contenders match on Raw. Lyra versus Becky, SummerSlam going to be a banger. Yeah. The Irish Lass is going at it again. Can't wait.
And the 2 out of 3 falls match was just like I said, I don't know how they did these two matches in 24 hours. Raw kicking off, which I'm glad they really leaned into the success of the match of the event with what was it? The first 3 matches of Raw were all women's matches. Yeah. We didn't talk much about the we have a lot to get to. We didn't talk much about the tag match to open up Raw, but Kabuki Warriors going up against Raquel, Roxanne. We're gonna touch upon the tag stuff in a little bit, but an unreal night, an unreal weekend for women's wrestling across all promotions, genuinely.
Absolutely.
And I think Becky ended up being the right choice. I like that retain on this show and maybe have a big payoff whether Lyra wins or not at SummerSlam. I am a little surprised that, not that they just run back a triple threat match, but I am a little surprised that Bayley isn't like still going to be involved,
Because now what she's going to do?
That's the thing.
She might now not be booked for SummerSlam, which is a disappointment to me.
Yeah, I think that's more my sentiment. Is like. Yeah, I'm surprised Bayley lost and now just like currently isn't on the card. We still have some time, but like I'm like, oh shit, you're not gonna have Bayley. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have minded them to even just. I mean, I don't know how if that's lazy or whatever, just to run back the triple threat.
I had the same thought, but like back you do have the triple threat world title match, so you don't want too many triple threats, maybe. I don't know, but that match at Evolution was such an instant classic. I think if it wasn't for the triple threat match at Mania, this would be the best triple threat match of both triple threat matches. And even to the NXT triple threat match with Javon and Oba and Trick, but like if it wasn't for that weekend of triple threat matches, this would be the best triple threat match of the year. But needless to say, this was 4.5 to 5-star match. For me.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go on to some more results for Evolution. We had Stephanie Vaquer winning the Battle Royal, earning herself a title shot at Clash in Paris, which will be happening after SummerSlam at the end of August. No idea what's going to happen. This is kind of leading to a lot of speculation of maybe Rhea's going to win the belt, and then you do Rhea Stephanie. However, Naomi Stephanie is still sick. I don't know if she would jump over to the SmackDown side of things. Who knows? I'd imagine the win is for your brand, but the brand split doesn't mean anything anymore. But Stephanie Vaquer, both our predictions, wins it. So deserved. Fun Battle Royal. Everyone got their shine. Julia and Zelina had their stuff. Maxine looked great. She was awesome. Seeing, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat this morning. Cole calling Candice LeRae Candice Michelle the whole night. Oh my god! Which I think he was leaning into at the end of it.
I think so too. Hopefully, or he was drunk.
Lash Legend in the final 2.
I did not expect that.
Rocked.
Yeah.
Who else? Nikki Bella looked very, very solid. Yeah, I thought it was a fun Battle Royal. I like the outcome. And I like that now we also have our sights set on Paris. You know?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a slut for a battle royal.
Me too.
I really enjoy just the chaos of it. And you know, I seen on your Yays and Boos someone say like the outcome was predictable, and I think you said you hit the nail on the head. You know, predictable isn't always bad. Also, I don't think it was all predictable because I remember I seen the match graphic and Nikki Bella is front and center. I also put a gallon of milk on the line. It dumped in my head. I'm thankful I don't have to do that. And then two, I mean, here's the thing too. I think Nikki Bella originally was probably supposed to face Liv Morgan at this event,
right?
And you kind of have to book on the fly of like what to do, and just they kind of said, hey, you're in the battle royal. I thought maybe she definitely could have won it, but she did not. She put over, I think Lash Legend actually eliminated her, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that's really cool moment for Lash Legend, and just a lot of these women shined in this match, and it was a lot of fun. Stephanie's the future. Stephanie's the future. I wouldn't be totally surprised if she were to accomplish the dream and win the world title at Paris.
I don't think that's crazy. I don't think it's crazy at all.
Looking forward to it. And also shout out Nikki Bella having a match against Chelsea Green. It was an okay match, but I think too you train for your comeback, and you're supposed to have a marquee singles match, and then you get kind of thrown in the battle royal. I think that was kind of like, okay, here's another match, and then it kind of shout out Chelsea Green too. So,
I love that we got. Like, I thought this was kind of going to be kind of a one-off, and then I don't know how. I don't know if like Nikki's around for like the long haul or maybe until SummerSlam.
I think it might be a two-off.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like maybe it was just like, hey, I'm still around. I'll hop on the fly train for a one-on-one. I'll take a one-on-one. I love that it was against Chelsea Green. Nikki picked up the win in that, right?
Yeah.
I think Nikki picked up the win.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe Nikki's sticking around for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Then I think Stephanie then joined her because I think the Secret Herbert started to attack.
Oh yeah, Stephanie came out and So maybe
and a cool ass T-shirt. I might need that T-shirt.
The Stephanie T-shirt. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we're leading to some sort of just like tag match, or whether they just kind of keep the story going on Raw with Stephanie and Nikki. I don't know. I do not know. All right, then we had Blake Monroe turning heel, helping JC Jane retain the NXT title over a Jordynne Grace. Whoa. Crazy. I thought for sure Jordynne Grace was winning it here. It does prolong, I know genuinely, it does prolong the Jordynne Grace chase. Now we have so much more Blake Monroe's story. This is now. So before we we're getting Blake Monroe, and that was face Blake Monroe. Cool, whatever. But there's still Mariah May in there. Mariah May is still in there and is coming out now just under the name Blake Monroe. But now Blake Monroe is officially here. This is cool. I'm excited to kind of see where this develops. I would love for this to lead to like a triple threat or even more of a JC Jane, Jordynne Grace, Blake Monroe. I think we're leading into Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe maybe for a number one contenders probably sort of feud. I don't know, but this was also a lot of fun. I'm glad we got some NXT storytelling on there. And as you said, Stephanie Vaquer is the future, which I fully agree with. But like this, the whole night is the future, and then now, but like Blake, JC Jane, Jordynne Grace, all also the future. Absolutely crazy. I like the heel turn. I think Cole. I don't know if he knew what was happening.
He wasn't. He missed it.
He did kind of. He was like, "Was that a mistake?" And then I think who was with him, Graves. Was just like, or was it Barrett? I forget.
I think it might have been Barrett actually.
Was just like, "No, Cole, I don't think that was a mistake." But yeah, this is great. I think she. Yeah, Blake Monroe should be a heel for sure.
Oh, I mean, she just screams heel. I think it was, a bit unpredictable that she went that route this fast. And then, of course, it was a bit unpredictable that JC Jane retained. I don't think too many people did, but they don't call me the prediction god for no reason. And of course, put some respect on JC Jane. I mean, she just won this goddamn title, and she can go. This was a very solid match. There wasn't one bad match on this card.
No.
And shout out Jordynne Grace will get there eventually. Also, too, man. I mean, Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe have their rivalry. They can go for as long as they want to.
Right.
I don't necessarily think Jordynne Grace necessarily needs the NXT World Championship. She's been a vet for a while. Eventually, once you elevate Blake Monroe and herself, of course, more importantly, she can easily go up at the main roster and do whatever. I don't think she necessarily needs the NXT World Women's Championship.
Yeah, I was always kind of shocked that Jordynne Grace didn't just go to the main roster.
Yeah.
Especially like her being in the Rumble, her being the TNA World Champion. I don't think, not to like discredit TNA, but like I think Jordynne Grace probably should have just went to the main roster. However, I do understand you do need star power.
Yeah.
She is the star power in NXT, while other women are kind of get built up, especially after Triple H took Julia, Stephanie, who else? That was
Julia?
Julia, Stephanie, potentially now Sol Ruka. There's a lot of names.
Did you see her custom NXT North American Championship? It's dope.
I don't know if I clocked it.
I don't think it was on the show. I think I've seen it this morning. It's freaking
really
dope. You're gonna love it.
Let's see.
Live reaction from John. Let's see it. Oh yeah.
Whoa, very zoomies. Whoa, that's fucking sick. Yeah, wow.
And this was kind of my first introduction to Sol Ruka, a little bit on Evolution, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, the back with the spray paint, stay rad. That's fucking cool. Yeah, she's bound for the. I know she has. I think she has the Speed Championship right now. She obviously has the NA Championship, but she's main roster bound. She is a star. Which we will. Is that next? All right. Well, before we talk about that. We will get into, speaking of people who can still go and the whatnot. We had Tiffany Stratton defeating Trish Stratus, and let me tell you, Trish Stratus can still go, baby. Oh man, this was a lot of fun too. It was a great match.
You still got it. Bitch,
never lost it, baby.
She is the GOAT for a reason. Put it on a great show. Pretty good match with Tiffany Stratton. A large part of me wanted her. Although I picked Tiffany to win predictions, God, what have you. A big part of me was like, give Trish her 8th.
I know.
Give Trish her 8th.
Screw it. Yeah.
And then have Jade beat her
at SummerSlam.
Why not? But that's not the route they went. Prettiest moonsault ever, like basically crushed Trish's face. I was a little concerned, but like, hey, that was pretty awesome too at the same time.
I got a hot take for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Tiffany Stratton, best swanton bomb ever of all time.
Ooh.
It looks so good. It's so clean. It's a little bit more gymnastics, a little bit more cheerleader than maybe a Jeff Hardy's, a little more grittier, just like I think Tiffany Stratton, taking the nostalgia goggles off, I think Tiffany Stratton does have the best swanton.
I support that. I'll fight the mob. I fight the mob for you. I won't.
Jeff Hardy number 2.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy number 2.
Yeah.
Me number 3.
Let's go.
That's my take. That's my TikTok clip. I don't have much more to say about this. This was just a lot of fun. I think every time, I think I said this on Yays and Booze, where every time Trish Stratus comes back, it's always like, welcome back. Great to see her. I wonder if she can still go. I hope she can still go. And then she has a great match. And you're coming off, she had the steel cage match with Becky however many years ago. Mm-hmm. And every single time, it's kind of just like, that was an amazing match by Trish. Surely that's it. Then she comes back 2 or 3 years later, has a banger. You know what I mean? It's unreal. Tiffany hit, I don't know what the move is called, but it wasn't like a brain buster, but she had Trish up in a suplex position, and then did this just spinning thing that even drove her knees into her. Point being, it was a brutal move that the sentiment was, hey, this woman is nearly 50 years old?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very, very wild that she's still able to go and take these moves and what have you. And then, Tiffany won, and then I quickly noticed that, I think the referee was Jessica Carr, and she was like, okay, Tiffany, get out the ring, get out the ring. I'm like, oh, how come she's not celebrating? And then they did the classic, the loser lost the match, but she's still the GOAT, and let's give her props for doing it.
We got the flowers and her just,
But maybe scared, this better not be your last match. I need you forever.
Here's the thing.
Or do it in Canada, or I don't know. If she's retired a few times already, but if
it is her last match, I think ending it with Tiffany is a real great way to go out. I do agree though. I would like it to be in Toronto. So I think that's just kind of it's just the perfect storytelling, and everyone go just as crazy, but.
Or in Boston.
Maybe, or in Boston.
Bias.
But her retiring at Evolution 2, or maybe her last match, I'll say, same, at Evolution 2 against Tiffany Stratton, putting over Tiffany Stratton, I don't think is a bad thing at all. But I'm fully with you. I want her to wrestle forever.
Yes, me too. But very nice that she got the standing ovation, rightfully so. Thank you, Trish.
I'll move on to the last match on the card, Evolution. We had Raquel and Roxanne retaining over the Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte and Alexa, and Sol Ruka and Zarya. What do they call her? Sol Zarya? I thought they had a name. But
I have no idea.
Electric, great match. Sol Ruka is a star. Everyone looked electric in this. Charlotte Flair is over with the crowd. I think pairing her with Alexa was fantastic. We want Charlotte chance. I think just over the past couple weeks of what we heard in interviews of Charlotte, her getting booed, promos and stuff. Really, really cool to see kind of her getting her flowers and getting that face chant that it seemingly is kind of what she wants to do at this stage in her career. Everyone looked great. Like I said, Kabuki Warriors look fantastic. Raquel and Roxy retaining. It was but at the beginning of the match, they're all kind of squaring off or whatever, and then Kairi Sane just hit the most brutal looking drop kick on Roxanne, and the tweet was Kairi Sane finally finding someone her size that she can throw around, and she just went.
She was hyped for that. Oh, it's hilarious.
But not to put you on the spot, but you seem like you didn't love the outcome here.
Wrong team won, my friend.
Okay.
Wrong team won. I get Roxanne and Raquel had just, not at all. Raquel has been champion for a while, but the Freebird rule,
right.
new team with Roxanne, they've been kind of jobbed out. You go Raquel lost to Rhea Ripley at Night of Champions, and then Roxanne tried to help her and did not succeed. And then I think Roxanne also lost on Raw leading up to this, and I don't know, man. I thought this was the prime opportunity to get over. Seemingly, I think, the most over women's tag team in the division, which is kind of a brand new tag team, Charlotte Flair and Alexa. This is classic big sister, little sister, sibling rivalry. We're not friends. We're acquaintances by benefits, friends with benefits. I don't know what's going on, but it's awesome. Charlotte Flair overnight just has become beloved, and the hot tag around the world. It was awesome. The hot tag from Alexa to Charlotte blew the roof off the place, and I'm at this point, almost if it was booked that Raquel and Roxanne are going to win this, maybe do on the fly, switch it up a little bit. I thought these women will win the tag team champion.
Yeah.
Charlotte and Alexa will. I think maybe do that SummerSlam, perhaps.
Yeah, I do think they deserve it. I do think they should capitalize on this team while they're hot. I see the Raquel, Roxy.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. I think there's more story right now over on the Raquel and Roxy side of things. In terms of Judgment Day stuff, can they coexist? They did a little backstage stuff with for Liv, and they have Liv's picture plastered on the wall. That's and great. Finn's being just a shit heel, whatever, taking Judgment Day. But yeah, I think they need to get the division a little more stronger, because I think my worry with Charlotte and Alexa winning is them not maybe having teams on SmackDown to face. So I think if you can kind of keep them as a team, use them to build the SmackDown tag division on the women's side, and then because what I do like about the women's tag team belts is that they float from NXT to Raw to SmackDown, which is kind of why I thought maybe Sol Ruka and Zarya were gonna win them, because I thought maybe let's have them over on NXT for a while. But yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer here. But I see what you're saying. I think they will capitalize. Like I said, I think if anything, that SummerSlam win and that SummerSlam pop with Alexa and Charlotte winning the titles, and then they hug each other, and it's whoa, they actually like each other, and then that Alexa Bliss heel turn is gonna hit crap.
Yeah, because some people are saying, oh no, once Charlotte turns, no, have Charlotte kind of
Alexa turn.
Take that that wall down of not trusting anyone, and then finally this iconic women's wrestler who's been in the always in the world title picture is now kind of settled into this tag team and is comfortable in her role and has finally found a friend, and that friend turn you back on. It's gonna be awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, again, we're talking about Sol Ruka. God, I'm just a sucker for that Soul Snatcher. The double Soul Snatcher too. Oh yeah, I think she'll run NXT for a while. But again, it's kind of like we were talking. Do people need the NXT World Title, or if they're ready for the main roster, do you call them up to the main roster? I think Sol Ruka could also be a example of that, where someone who she drops the NA title and then 25
years old,
crazy, whole world ahead of you.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I think she's destined for greatness. She's
That's
fantastic.
Crazy.
And again, she just hits something to me personally with the she's very like 2013, 2014, like skater culture with the checkerboard title. She wrestles in skate highs when she ties the laces on the back. She just reminds me of like I said, like just zoomies and shit. It fucking rocks. I'm just like that. Ugh, good stuff. But yeah. Well, that's Evolution. Fantastic event. I don't disagree with people saying that it's so far the event of 2024. There were some all-time matches. I think Rhea and 2025, excuse me, forgot what year we're in. Rhea and Io are fighting for match of the year contenders. I think there's a lot of match of the year contenders already, but Io and Rhea are going to be firmly in that conversation. Io Sky genuinely I think proved, and no discredit to Rhea, because Rhea was also great. She's right there at number 2. Io Sky, and I know I'm the Io Sky guy, whatever. But Io Sky proven that she is one of, if not the best wrestler on the planet. Oh, notice I left a word out. Notice I didn't say women's wrestler, Jimmy. Best wrestler on the planet. Oh, this was the best women's wrestling event. This was the best wrestling event of the year. These are some of the best women's matches. These are some of the best wrestling matches, brother. Ooh. Io Sky, best wrestler on the planet. Give me Io Sky versus Will Ospreay. Oh my god! If we're never gonna, it's obviously there. Ooh, it'll never happen.
The forbidden door. You never know.
I know. So that's my 2 cents coming out of Evolution. If you have any more sense to give,
man, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And there's the thing, like you said, the best wrestling event of the year. I think you're gonna get some people saying, no, it was just 2 days prior. It was all in that one, but like it's.
I disagree.
Given that it's 2 completely different shows. I mean, one is an all-women show. One is like the culmination of a completely different company, and that was can't believe that was the longest pay-per-view of all time. It beat WrestleMania 35.
That shit was long,
and maybe I think could have definitely benefited from being shorter.
I agree.
I think that would have maybe made the last 3 main events, the last 3 matches of the card enjoyable. They were kind of working against that. However, though, I think I'm right there with you. I think and then of course I got to get out of this mindset, because it's just so funny being online, because sometimes trolling, I almost immediately went like, oh, Evolution over All In, this and that. But like, I think maybe equal. And it's just crazy because like Evolution, I think the runtime was like 3.5 hours, maybe roughly, and All In was like 6 hours plus. I think those are for me equal shows, which is I think just completely an ode to the women of the WWE that just absolutely killed it. They were given an inch and they ran a mile.
Well, speaking of All In, we'll lean into All In now. Like I said, we're gonna start top to bottom, folks. Hangman Adam Page saved AEW. Hangman Adam Page defeats Jon Moxley to win the AEW World Championship in a Texas death match by choking him out the same way he choked him out in the 2023 Revolution Texas death match. The first time they fought, Hangman is up 2-0 on Mox in death matches, and I think this is on commentary. I think we clocked it like what? Hangman is like 5-1 in just death matches or Texas death matches. He's been in like most of the Texas death matches in AEW.
It's a flex.
And then obviously at the end we had the return of Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson. Swerve Strickland came out to help Hangman win. There's so much to talk about. I love this main event. And just as I think right now, like some of my top matches of the year, this Texas Death match is up there. Like I said, Io Rhea, the women's triple threat match at 41, Io Rhea Bianca is up there. I also love. I think you had it at the top. I love the Anarchy in the Arena match.
Yeah, that's my number 1 still.
I'd have to go back to some other matches. I even love like sneaky. I loved Sheamus versus Rusev like a week or two ago on Raw.
I think they're going to run it back at SummerSlam. I think
that's the plan, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Also, sorry, we're full in AEW at this point. But one thing we didn't mention was looks like they're getting to Dom versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam. With AJ praying that he's. I love this feud. It's so silly. What's cool is like, they're doing a comedy story with two of the best wrestlers. You know what I mean? Which, like, a lot of times you can do a comedy story and it's like comedy wrestlers, right? But they're doing comedy stories with AJ Styles, who is one of the best wrestlers to ever live, and Dominic Mysterio, who is like continuously proven that he is one of the best and most entertaining in the ring in terms of like young guys in the modern age, whatever.
Seemingly leading up to a match that's kind of billed as hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, which like AJ Styles is probably gonna beat the bag out of him. But hey, I hope they go back and forth. I really do, because Dom can obviously go. Absolutely. I get the story of like AJ finally got his hands on him and beats him down. But yeah. So anyway, we'll stick with this main event. This was nuts. I don't even know where to start. The entrances, like, super dope. Hangman back to his old theme song, which like. Absolutely. I kind of missed a bit of the AEW lore with his rivalry with Swerve. I kind of watched it from a distance, if you will, and the whole rivalry where he then kind of went to the dark side, Hangman, that is, and changed his theme song and all that stuff. To hear the classic cowboy song really pumped me up. And then, of course, wearing all the white pants, which basically just said, oh, yeah, there's going to be blood in this match, which there was.
I think they started bleeding. I think we were kind of trying to keep track of it. I think 3 minutes in. With the fork, dude, the fork was... I saw that kind of broke out of wrestling Twitter to like the mainstream. Just the fork to the head was nuts. All the nail, the bed of nail spot, the barbed wire tables, the scraping of the barbed wire. This was awesome.
And then the Death Riders, which I've told it a few times, like they've officially somehow reversed all that bad juju they had in the first like 3 months of their run, which are like, they're heels, it's effective heel work. No, it was bad TV for a bit. Although then you got to give Moxley in the group their flowers, because that's what they accomplished, where the jubilation of the Hangman win was due to how effective the heel work was of the Death Riders and Moxley. They come out looking like, I think you helped me out, it was the Mad Max kind of like post-apocalyptic whatever, cool as hell in the truck. And then for me, one of the highlights of this match was the work of Marina Shafir. Which,
she was awesome.
She looked great, and then also got physical many of times and played into the finish and what have you. And like she has come a long way from her iconic bad promo of the me in the straight cowboy hat. So funny. I still love that promo so much. But
did she take a bump from Hangman again? I can't remember, because I know she got hit with a buckshot like in the weeks prior.
I just remember the Prince Nana of the.
Oh yeah, Prince Nana like handcuffs her. She's like, what the hell? Yeah. No, I love, and she like at the end of the match, she like had everyone's blood on her. Like I think you made note of it, of like, I love that she is Moxley's muscle. Sure, you have Claudio. Not that Yuta's gonna be the muscle, but like. Yeah, the Gabe Kid, I guess, but the muscle and the right hand person of this group is Marina Shafir. It works out so well.
It's a badass.
And then like at the end, Hangman opening the briefcase, finally showing the AEW title after months and months. It still has Bryan Danielson's plates on.
Yeah, that was such a great touch.
I didn't clock that in real time, but I thought that was a really, really cool moment. And then you had it was another point. I don't know, just a really great lasting image. And then obviously like Bryan Danielson coming in with in the Blue Panther mask, which I'm curious. I know like the reports is that he's going to be on a part-time basis and whatnot. But do we think he's here for the long haul? Do we think he's just here for a story to get revenge on Mox?
Maybe that. I think maybe that. Or like if he wants to just be on like a late 2000s Undertaker schedule where you have 1 to 3 matches a year, and those would be bangers. And then there's still so much stories and potential dream matches for Danielson in AEW. So of course, whatever he wants, whatever his body's allowing him to do. Still, I did not really expect that. I think you forecasted it on the podcast predictions episode that he could be there. I was kind of like, I don't think Danielson's showing up, and there he is in the Blue Panther mask, which I thought they kind of did a bait and switch where like they kind of showed the Darby promo at the top of Mount Everest, and then Danielson came out. I was like, oh, what the hell's going on?
And what got me too was like in the promo on Mount Everest, which also like just so cool. And what a worker to be like, you're doing your Mount Everest trip, and then at the top you're like, I gotta get my shit in. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? But Darby, obviously without the face paint and a little bit of a beard grown. So when they cut to Danielson in the ring, he was in the mask and had a beard. So you're like, is that Darby? Who is that? And then obviously it's a crazy surprise. And then Darby coming in from the rafters. I think there was like pictures. He was like hanging up there for like a while.
Oh yeah, just chilling. And like this match too, like so back and forth, so bloody, so gruesome, and seemingly, we're in the main event of the biggest show of the year. You kind of feel like it perhaps could be a little predictable of the outcome of like, oh, the ultimate babyface or whatever. But there is quite a few times where I'm like, oh, Moxley got this. And then like I think it was the Young Bucks involvement with the BTE trigger. Yeah. And then there's so much stuff going against Hangman where I'm like, oh, they're gonna actually have John Moxley retain right now, which would be insane. The glass, and then the horse, the spots of the spiked table, I think it is. Like the spike,
like the bed of nails or whatever.
Moxley didn't get all the curb stomp. I mean, I'm not going to criticize that too much. I wouldn't want to put my fucking head in a bed of nails either. And then afterwards, he ended up taking it. Moxley, that is, like on his back, which was absolutely.
So I think he either went for it or hit the paradigm shift onto the bed of nails.
That looked crazy.
And then the end was just like the buckshot onto the bed of nails is so crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to this match in terms of people's involvement or whatever, but it is going to be, I like what you do. I'm going to start doing it where I'm going to keep a running list in my phone of like my match of the year. So like, if I'm just watching a Raw or an event and there's a match that stands out to me, just jot it down, so I can go back to it at the end of the year.
I know you're not the biggest fan of the Dropkick app, but that's where it kind of comes in handy a little bit. Keeps track of stuff. I kind of just like it for my personal list of events I've been to, and kind of having that all like kind of something I can kind of look back and click on, like, oh, remember I saw that match live? Yeah. I don't remember that, but that's pretty cool that I saw that.
Yeah, I would definitely use it in that. Like, I might download it even just for that sense. Like, I don't like the idea of like watching a Monday Night Raw and then logging like all 5 matches. Yeah,
I hear you.
But I do like it even just for like a pay-per-view or watching a show and be like, ooh, I gotta make note of it. Because I like toward like a year is a long year, right? You forget what happens in January, February. Yeah. So like I definitely, and I don't have the best memory. So come December for the Stache Awards, I definitely need like something that I can look back on to revisit and make my, you know what I mean?
And sometimes I feel like we have the same brain, because when I tweeted out my list of the top 10 matches, I think right after Evolution, and included Io and Rhea. But then I was formulating my list, and I forgot that the Hollywood ending match happened this year.
Insane,
and then,
right?
And your Yays and Boozy, I think you would make like a correction of like, oh yeah, if I remembered, I would probably would have put that match higher up. And like, yeah, same here. I could put that match happened this year. Mariah May was in AEW earlier this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what's tripping me up is her moving companies with a new character. And in my head, that's just like a new start. It's a new year. Like, gun to my head, I would have said 2024.
Or even too the Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes match, like that happened in January. Like that was a great match. And then the men's elimination chamber, like the matches that happened early in the year. You forget how good those were. They're kind of a victim of it being so long ago. But like we're talking about your matches of the year, it's definitely good to keep a list.
All right, I mean, I could keep. I loved this match. Okay, well, go on to which I've been the fucking Swerve picture with his hands. It's so funny. I love it. So curious now. So I will. And we'll start. Well, all right. We'll circle back to kind of everything we talk about Swerve and Ospreay and the Bucks. But happy everyone's back. It seems like we're leading to maybe Darby Moxley. Obviously, Bryan Danielson is also in the mix, so I'm sure Bryan Danielson wants to get his revenge. At minimum, he's going to beat the piss out of Wheeler Yuta. I think there was even a moment in the match where Claudio Like Moxie was like, all right, that's it. Claudio pulled out a bag, again, similar to the Bryan Danielson stuff, gave it to Yuta. And there was a moment where like Claudio didn't love giving. Claudio was like, no. Claudio and Yuta didn't seem to love potentially murdering someone again. Shocking. But Mox was like, do it. And they brought the bag in, whatever. And I think Hangman just like ripped it or something. I forget what happened. But the bag spot, obviously didn't end the match.
How did he get out of the bag?
I forget.
There's so much that happened. Let's see.
Because you know what was funny?
What's that?
I'm getting it really mixed up too, because at the Focus Pro show, someone did pull out a plastic. There was a plastic bag spot. Yeah.
Gimmick infringement.
And then someone like pulled, ripped it and whatever. But I forget what happened in the Hangman match. But it was a long stream, a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Okay, so I think when he grabbed the bag, that's when Darby came out. That's what kind of
okay, so he didn't really... Okay, so he might not have got it. Got it. What a match. I know I fully understand maybe some people's cup of tea, which is fine.
I think though, because it was the last match of the longest wrestling pay-per-view ever, it had a lot going against it. Because during the Okada Omega match, I was gassed. I'm watching these guys, and that match necessarily wasn't for me directly, because again, I never watched their iconic feud in New Japan. I never seen the Okada Omega match before then, and then I, of course, knowing in the back of my head too, I'm like, this probably won't be their best match of the series, and like not too crazy of the storyline either. So I'm watching this, I'm kind of like, I was still into it, but like definitely is feeling fatigued. I mean, it's one thing like watching a wrestling show, but we're also kind of hosting a show while doing the live stream. So like I was a bit gassed. But we get to the main event, and the way the type of match it was perfect for me to get back up and really the adrenaline was insane. So like it was perfect for what it was.
We'll move on to what they are calling. They take a little page out of WWE's book, calling the 3 main events.
Yeah, that's funny.
Toni Storm retained her title against Mercedes Moné in also a crazy match. If it wasn't for Rhea, this would have been the best women's match of the weekend, potentially the whole year. But Toni Storm Mercedes is also high up there for me. This was fantastic. The storytelling. I mean, Toni Storm is Toni Storm. Just like the different, like the poetic moments of like Toni hitting her taunts and the kisses throughout the match. I think in the presser, what Toni says, she was like, first of all timer oppressor. She pulled out like a list and was like, to so and so, fuck you. To so and so, go fuck yourself. To so and so, thank you.
He also mentioned like from winning the match, she thinks she said she creamed her panties, and no, those panties won't be available for sale or something like that. She's
was like, thank you, Mercedes Moné, for keeping your lips clean. All 4 of them.
Oh my god,
crazy.
She is hilarious. Oh my god, out of this world character.
As I did have Toni as my pick, it was way more of a who I'm rooting for pick. But I love the story of Toni winning. It's not going to be an easy one for Mercedes. Sure, she won all those other titles. I'm not saying those were easy, but she won them and it was great. This is the one. She has a mountain to climb to dethrone timeless Toni Storm, and it's not going to be easy. I think we're going to absolutely revisit this and go back to it. We'll see what kind of the follow is on Dynamite tomorrow.
And that too, because Athena won the Battle Royal. I'm like,
sure, that's it too.
Of course, Jimmy always looking ahead. I'm like, okay, Athena versus Mercedes Moné rematch. It makes absolute most sense. That's going to be a banger of a match, possibly women's match of the year. But even though it's such a hard thing to grab now. But yeah, super shocked. I also picked Toni, and I was delighted. The entrances with I didn't know the Texas Rangers had cheerleaders or whatever, like the dancers, but all the dancers had Mercedes titles on. That was awesome. And then we were kind of speculating the jacket that Mercedes had. Like, what the heck is this? Like, she had all the people that she's beaten on her jacket, and that jacket that coat was very, very long. You had everyone's name. I think we saw Io Sky on there too. Which
I think Kyrie was on
Kyrie
there.
Saying, and it's super cool, super cool. And then Toni Storm kind of stealing our friend Alex Lehas's gimmick of being injured a little bit, her kind of limping on to stage in the spotlight, and then just kind of shaking it all off. What an absolute delight this was. This was absolutely unreal. And then, the Storm Zero to win. Super, just not what I expected, honestly. I know I did pick Toni Storm to win, but something told me, like, oh, this makes the most sense. The belt collector to collect this last belt, Infinity Gauntlet, Mercedes Moné, Creative Control, whatever you want to say. But Toni Storm on top, timeless forever. Let's go.
I do think Mercedes will get it also pretty soon. Like, I think she's going to end up climbing that mountain. And also, I'm just also so curious about, like, all her other titles. However many, all 12 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say she wins the AW, or win or lose the AW championship. Mm-hmm. How do you go about her losing these titles?
That's the thing.
Does she have to go on a losing streak?
Yeah.
I'd imagine some of them, maybe kind of like the lesser ones, respectfully, are just going to get dropped and vacated if she wants to.
Or she
don't know.
Have matches where it's like, oh, both these titles are on the line, and then loses and kind of loses it, fast. Or I mean, if you are these promotions that are, loving the fact that you have a superstar in Mercedes Moné as your champion, maybe you don't give a damn how long she has it. Like, hold her for as long as you want, Mercedes type
right.
deal. But that being said, though, the TBS championship needs to be defended soon. And then now too, also the Owen Hart tournament has come and gone, and now you can probably, drop that belt for next year's tournament. It is tough, having so many titles, and then you don't want to necessarily want a big losing streak, but you're kind of tied then. It's definitely something, man. And then I'm very much looking forward to Toni Storm versus Athena, which don't want to get ahead of myself. I think Athena double champ Athena. Let's do it.
See, I'm trying to see. I want a full list
of the titles
of all her titles.
That makes a lot of sense.
List of all titles. Oh wait, this might be it. Okay, let's see. Is this old though? From 3 weeks ago. Okay, let's see. Mercedes Moné holds AEW TBS Championship, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, which is like also a big title. EWA Women's Championship, Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. CMLL Women's World Championship. Oh, so like these are world titles. Women's Owen Hart Cup. I think that's it. For some reason, I thought she had more. I think she also just like. I think some of them are also just like. I think she carries around more than like are those 6.
Well, she's been 6 belts. Monet, is that 6 belts? I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, but there were more than 6 cheerleaders, weren't there? Were there only 6 cheerleaders?
There were more cheerleaders, but not all of them had the title
had belts. Yeah. For some reason, I thought she had like way more belts. So I think she carries around more than 6 titles. I think there's like one that like is also like, oh, well, that's not like a real one. You know what I mean?
She went to like Walmart and got the replicas.
Maybe, who knows? But yeah, all right. So we'll definitely circle back to the casino gauntlets in terms of Athena. But we will go to. I don't have much to say about this match, to be honest with you. I don't even.
Okada?
No, Hurt Syndicate, which I get. I'm saving Okada Omega for last.
Okay.
But we have Hurt Syndicate retaining their tag titles over the Patriarchy, and Jet Speed. Fine match, fun match. I
think the main thing to talk about is
that's the thing. I think it's really the sole reason I think this match was on the cards. I don't want to use the term bloated, but how stacked this card was. I think this would have been maybe the match to cut.
Yeah, or the first 6-man match that started off the show. I think that could have been a dynamite match.
That's not crazy too. Yeah. But we had the Patriarchy turning on Christian Cage. Everyone, Nick Wayne, Mama Wayne, Kip Sabian, everyone turns. They're about to give him an old concerto. Who runs in?
Well, runs in is a stretch.
True. Yep. Comes in, does his entrance. I think he even had pyro. Mm-hmm. Then runs in to help Christian. See, it's a distraction. It's all a distraction is what it was. I was just playing all the whole time.
Sometimes you just have to aura farm. That's what it is.
Comes in, helps Christian, and I like that we didn't get the immediate reformation because Christian is the one that put. He was injured, but there's a lot of things that Christian did to Copeland that wouldn't just make hey, I'm sorry.
You don't forgive that right away. Yeah.
He comes in with Spike, doesn't use Spike, he just had it just in case, and then he goes, go find yourself.
I was so close. I said love yourself, but no, go find yourself makes a lot more sense. It's definitely similar to the other word that was used from Christian. So
yeah, seems like we are getting the potential reformation of what now would be deemed as Cope and Christian. I do like there's going to be some story and some rebuilding, get Christian back into his good graces. Yeah, this is cool. Great mid-show, sort of nice return pop or whatever for the card. And Cope's back, so that's great. Yeah.
On this day, I see clearly. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have much more else to say about this other than hell yeah.
Anytime you can give me, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, nostalgia, I'm going to eat it up. I'm very much looking forward to the reformation of Edge and Christian, 5-second pose, kazoos, big old
do the whole thing.
Yellow sunglasses. Like let's have some fun here, people. And then them versus FTR, a dream match.
It's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be great. So hell yeah.
All right, we'll go on to Dustin Rhodes defeating Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, and Kyle Fletcher to win the TNT Championship. Also tacked on to this is kind of the reasoning and the backstory here. Adam Cole, unfortunately, not medically cleared, which is why this became a fatal four-way match with these other participants added to go against Fletcher, and just a real rip your heart out, just unfortunate promo Cole cut. I think he did at least he didn't say retirement. He made sure not to say retirement, making note of it. So there's still, hopefully he comes back and he comes back good, but there's a guy who's just been kind of, flacked with injuries throughout his career, especially the later part of his career. It seems like it might be a concussion sort of thing. I'm glad that he's playing it safe and taking the time and whatnot, but his career seems up in the air, especially with the speech, with the rest of the Undisputed Era kind of with him, to kind of hug it out. And man, best wishes to Adam Cole for such a monumental weekend, an impactful weekend, a weekend packed with great wrestling. Also, just some real, sad and crushing moments between Seth's injury, the Adam Cole news, and best wishes to Cole. Really unfortunate, and it's kind of the sentiment.
Fuck Adam Cole.
Whoa!
I was this close to crying on the stream. I didn't tell you this when we were doing it, but I almost let a tear out while watching that thing. And if he made me cry on a wrestling stream, I would have been pissed. I'm totally joking about the saying Gia whatever. But Adam Cole, one of the most talented in-ring workers I've ever seen. Very just super unfortunate that. I think it's been reported a concussion issues.
I think so, right?
So that's it just sucks, man. I think he did the right thing of vacating the title, and I completely share the same sentiments as you, and hope that he's able to, one, just be healthy and okay, and then of course if he wants to come back and do what he loves, and which is entertain all of us. So, yeah.
So to go to the match. The shocking win on my end, but a great last-minute pick on your end. Dustin Rhodes, your new TNT champion. Love it. They're in Texas. His attire was in the Texas flag. His first AEW singles title. I mean, a guy who hasn't had many singles titles, period, in his career.
His first singles title since 2002.
Whoa.
So that was wow.
What title was that?
The IC Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. Absolutely insane.
Wow.
Did not
Wow.
We did have to go on the fly and make new predictions, and I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, yeah, Kyle Fletcher is the future. I definitely was kind of thinking that he was going to crush Adam Cole in the match, perhaps. Maybe not crush. Maybe that was more so what I kind of personally wanted, but I definitely thought it was going to be a convincing victory, Kyle Fletcher over Adam Cole. But then making the match into a four-way, I'm like, it would make some sense for the old Texan, the old natural, Dustin Rhodes, to get this victory, the title that, made somewhat famous by his younger brother Cody Rhodes, now the top of the card in
beautiful
WWE.
Storytelling.
I think the story was there, and we got this.
There was even a moment where they raised him up, similar to the end of 40.
He's not a small man. That took a few guys to lift old Dustin up, but like, yeah, what a deserved, beautiful moment. The emotion, the tears on his face.
Yeah.
This. I thought it was the right move, and I'm happy that I clocked it. But also, shout out Kyle Fletcher, Proto Star.
Yeah. Shout out, Hot Mulligan. Did his theme song, which you know. It's crazy when a person has a good theme song by an actual band or artist that makes good songs. Whoa, crazy.
Adds a whole nother layer to the character and into the feeling of the entrance. Yeah,
crazy. Also, Danny and Sammy looked great in this match. It was great to see them get the slot. Yeah, I don't anticipate Dustin Rhodes having a Roman Reigns sort of run with this, but I'm excited to see Dustin Rhodes on TV. I hope they put him on Dynamite a lot. And this is great. Good feel good moment.
Fletcher's getting that belt soon. Let's be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on to what was another one of my favorites of the night. We had Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay defeating the EVP Bucks, stripping the EVP Bucks of their EVP titles. So now they're no longer the EVPs. They're no longer running the shit. Loss of power. They were going against the stipulation that if Swerve and Ospreay lost, they wouldn't be able to challenge for the world title for a year.
We might need to do some research because I seen a graphic, and I'm not sure if it was a legit AEW website, but under Swerve and Ospreay now, I think it says EVP. So that they might have obtained the EVP title, unless I'm getting swerved.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything about that.
If I'm getting swerved, then sure.
Where'd you see that?
Twitter.
Well, yeah, but like, what was it?
Oh, but it was the same. It was from the website. So like under Swerve and Ospreay, they have the EVP title, which maybe it was fake. Maybe it was to cause confusion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I completely cut your momentum. I apologize.
It's okay. This match rocked. I had a lot of fun. I saw the tweet. Ospreay came out with like full like Assassin's Creed branding. It was one tweet that was like, this guy Ospreay doesn't like any other video games.
But it's definitely not the case. I think he's a big gamer, but Assassin's Creed is his jam, apparently.
He has a tattoo of it.
Oh, wow.
That rocked. Swerve's entrance also sick. I love the matching gear with like the gold and white of the two. The Bucks coming out, swerving you to then go on the sailboat or what have you with like the fucking ring announcer was reading from the scroll. They had the fucking telescope.
I hate those motherfuckers. so pretty fun, but
fucking
oh my God.
riot. And then the match itself. It took a little bit to like. It took like 8 or 10 minutes for it to like pick up for me. And then once they like decided to like take the brakes off, this shit went crazy. There's the clip going around of the out of context spot where they were kind of like going crazy at each other, no cells, kip ups, Canadian destroyers into Hidden Blade and house calls, I think is what the move's called.
Yep.
People are upset about it. I don't know. Who cares?
I quote tweeted it. I'm almost at 1 million views.
Yeah, I saw. Is that your first banger?
I've had a few bangers.
Had a few, okay.
But like, I mean, that's the number one. I've never come close to 1 million before, so I feel very famous. And it was just kind of like, because the original caption was like, Undertaker was right, which I think the actual Undertaker quote was like, oh, they don't tell stories, they just do a bunch of moves. I kind of like, it was a throwaway tweet for me, which is kind of funny how that always works.
No, it's always that one,
it's a throwaway tweet, and then like, then it's so funny too, because then my response to that was, oh, the undead wizard is calling this unrealistic, then he's right. And then it's so funny how people read that tweet where now both sides, like AEW fans and like WWE fans who don't like that style, are like coming at me. They don't understand that I was kind of like defending the match sequence, which like, again, it was... I hear people's criticisms of like, oh, you no-sold on Canadian Destroyer, but like watch the entire match and then talk about it. Also, too,
10K likes, holy hell!
Yeah. So wow. It's getting up there. I want a milli. So if you haven't interacted with the tweet yet, please get me up there. I love a little check for a little check from Elon. That'd be nice. But yeah, man.
Oh yeah, you are verified. Mm-hmm. How much are you actually? Sorry, I cut you off. But are you making how much money? I was gonna right.
No.
Yeah, no one is right.
No one actually is.
How much do you think you'll get? I guess I'm really curious how much you'll get off of this.
I don't think anything. I think 30 cents. I don't know how it works. I've never been paid before from Twitter, but like it would be nice.
But like, you are in the thing that like allows you to get paid.
Yeah,
right?
if I keep doing these bangers, then eventually I think I would. But like,
I wonder if you can look in your analytics. I bet you if you look in your analytics, it'll say maybe how much it earned. I'm just like more so. I'm less curious in the sense of like I want to get it on. More so, I'm just curious because I know people are verified and that was a thing. You know, whatever.
I'm paying $10 a month. Yeah, so like, why not get that back?
I'm curious. I'm curious. This will be able to help me kind of gauge stuff. So I'll be curious, like something that has nearing in on 1 million views and 10K likes. Hearing how much you got from it will be kind of a nice, just like, you know, it'll be a nice sense of like, you know, whether if you get $200 from it or if you get 25 cents for it. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
And
I'm
like
really curious.
Why I kind of pay for the check mark is like I've noticed too, because I love tweeting up, I love interacting with wrestling fans and, you know, banger hunting, if you will. But like I've definitely noticed with the check mark, I get so much more interaction on my tweets than versus not. And
when you reply to stuff too, it prioritizes
I'm the first
you or
one,
whatever. Yeah.
So like that's kind of why, dude. I'm just starting out being a, you know, not full-time content creator, but you know, someone that gotten this opportunity, like I definitely want to be seen more. So
sure.
That's why I kind of do it. And it's just so funny how like both sides though, and like just coming at me. Like I'm defending this match in the sequence, and it's crazy for me personally to be defending a Young Bucks spot, but like but like I just don't love the whole, you know, negativity surrounding it. It's like, oh, the Undertaker's right, this and that. It's like Undertaker and comments in 2025 shouldn't be really like the standard. Pro wrestling has evolved so much from his day and age, and it's like it's insane to me. And like it's and here's the thing, they first of all watch the whole match and then develop an opinion. And that spot specifically, you know, the match was telling a story. And they, you know, Ospreay and Swerve, when they get hit with the Canadian Destroyers, they didn't no-sell it. I mean, they did for a moment, but it was adrenaline, and it was the last gasp effort before
pop up, the power up,
right before they're like, okay, this damage that we did receive is now completely, we're exhausted. They were basically on E, but they realized they had a little bit left gas in tank, and they hit them back with moves, and it's just they all went nuts for it. The 25 plus K crowd in attendance went bananas for it. So who are you to, you know, cry about it?
I don't know how you see that sequence and then that spot and not go like, oh, like when we were watching that live and that was like, this was the whole sequence, they're fucking popping off and going crazy. We were sitting there going, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, how do you not see this and have so much fun and go like, whoa? Like, sure, you can look back at it afterward and being like, well, you know, in the moment, I had a lot of fun and lost myself in wrestling, but now I'm gonna critique it and be, you know what I mean? It's like
it's the skateboarding hot dog meme where it's like literally the coolest thing ever. Yeah. It's like, this thing actually fucking
this
sucks.
Thing fucking sucks. What the coolest thing ever. That's a great tweet. I steal that. I gotta get myself verified though to get paid. But yeah, crazy. A good match. We obviously got Swerve and Ospreay getting involved a little bit in the main event. Ospreay getting his ass kicked, and then Swerve which I also thought was a funny note. Swerve coming out, not helping Ospreay at all.
No, yeah, very kind of strange.
So I mean, there's so many people now involved, right? You have Hangman as the champion. You have Moxley, who might still be sniffing around. I think he will take some time off because of like the match type. I think he should.
Roughly so. I don't think he's. Remember, I think around like the time when Punk won the AEW championship, it was like, oh, Moxley's getting a vacation. And then Punk got injured, and then Moxley never took the vacation.
Oh, yeah,
I still don't think he's taking that vacation.
Get him a vacation.
Like 5 years ago.
Let him and Renee go off to have a nice time. But yeah, I mean, like encompassing everywhere. You have Hangman, Mox. You got Death Rider people lurking. You have people in the ops. Samoa Joe got taken out on a stretcher, which admittedly we're not talking about that match for the sake of time. But Samoa Joe got taken out on a stretcher. You obviously have the return of Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson, probably the two biggest notable names. Then you obviously have Swerve and Will, who are now they were in a tag team for the sake of that. They're not a tag team. Ospreay should fully be in the world title picture, but now you have a Hangman and Swerve, and now they have a mutual respect for it, for each other. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much. But yeah.
I would have been, I originally picked the Young Bucks to win this match, and I more so did so because I thought it would have been a lot more interesting post All In to see where they go for Ospreay and Swerve to then not being allowed to challenge for the world title, and how that would play into the dynamics of their characters and what they decide to do from there, and where their maybe allegiances will go. Because to me, the beautiful moment of a Swerve helping Hangman win the world championship would have meant maybe a little bit more if it was so now like, oh, Swerve can't challenge the title for 6 months, but like, although not being able to have a potential another rematch with Hangman Swerve or Hangman versus Ospreay would have kind of sucked to have to wait for that. I get it. So maybe it was the right move.
I don't disagree with that though, because it's like, I think especially how much they were touting like they won't be able to challenge until next year's All In. Like, I thought that was kind of an implication. And then like you said, the Bucks can still be the EVP things and do their thing. And then you can tease like Swerve and Ospreay want it so bad. Even if they come face to face with Hangman or whoever has the title, and they have to still wait. They can go after, other titles, maybe the tag titles, maybe individual titles. Going after, the undisputed title or whatever the fuck it's called now, would have been great. But yeah, so as much as I do love the match and I still like the result, the writing on the wall with the stipulation did kind of seem to like, like there might be like handcuffing yourself can give you some story and like whatever.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, we're going to round out the show here. We got the final three things. Maybe saving Okada Omega last wasn't the best move, but we have Athena winning the women's gauntlet match. We were kind of touching upon this earlier. What a fun match. I think this one, not that everything needs to be compared, but for the sake of it, I do think the women's one was better than the men's. Yeah, everyone looked great. I think Athena was a great pick. I love Statlander and Megan Bayne going at each other from start to finish. Those two looked great. Willow Nightingale had a great showing. We got a Harley Cameron return, now in a mask on Dashing Harley Cameron. Who else we have?
Ospreay's Bay, Alex Windsor.
She looked unreal.
Never seen her before, but she did a great job.
Yep. Yeah. Zelk, how do you pronounce the name? Zekla, the
spider, Thekla?
Yeah, Thekla.
Yeah.
Thekla kind of being matched up with Julia Hart.
Yeah,
those two looked fantastic. Queen Amarada, Suri, who now I'd imagine I haven't seen an All Elite graphic, but Suri coming from Stardom, who I don't know too much about her, but. If you want to learn more about her, I'd keep an eye out on Queen of the Ring, Alex Lejas. She's the one that would have all the info.
Cool.
But
that was my first time seeing her. I'm like, oh, cool.
Suri apparently is right up there in the names of the top 3 of like best women's performers on the planet right now.
Yeah.
So it's someone I definitely want to check out. But I'd imagine they're all elite.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My brain just remembered. Harley Cameron came back.
Yep.
With the undashing mask. Wish she was kind of in the match, but
wish she was in the match too.
I thought it was an effective way to kind of bring her back. Her and Anna Jay kind of getting their lick back against Megan Bayne. We also had another return too. I think she wasn't in the match, but she. Who was it?
Yeah,
Sky Blue wasn't in the match.
Well,
but she got involved.
It was basically in the match.
Yeah, we were kind of like, what's going on with this? Like, why not just have them in the match? But like, I thought it was a lot of fun. My only criticism with this gauntlet style match was like the intervals were very just like all over the place.
Yeah.
Some were 30 seconds, and then some were like 5 minutes long, and that made the match feel a lot longer because we're like, all right, is this the end of it? Is this the end of it? But like one more after another. But overall, it was a lot of fun. The AEW's women's division is great, and I think the right woman won for sure. It was her hometown, and she's been holding down Ring of Honor for so long, and the desire from the fan base to like put Athena on AEW television compared to Ring of Honor. I think we're getting it. So.
Yeah, I agree. Her finish too. I don't know I forget what they call it nowadays.
I see here the O face.
Oh, that is what they call it. What did it used to be called? I forget what it used to be called.
Well, isn't the O face like kind of like O face?
Yeah. I think that's definitely. Yeah, I don't know.
Funny.
Her finish is unreal. I can't wait to see her go up against the best, and then which obviously speaking of the best, I'd imagine. So unclear. Maybe it's only unclear to me. Maybe it's clear to everyone else. So they get the contract, right? And you can cash it in like a Money in the Bank briefcase, right? I think that's how because that's what Christian did, right?
That's what Christian did.
Okay,
so
I
my
think
understanding is
that
that's the way it is. You can just cash it in at any given point, just like the Money in the Bank. So I mean, I don't predict that Athena will do it, quote unquote, like a dastardly heel would and cash in on a prone opponent. I can see her kind of doing it John Cena style and doing it, I challenge you at this event and doing it that way. However, the winner of the men's, I think, will do it old fashioned style.
Yeah, in terms of like a run in sort of. Yeah. Other casino gauntlet match. We have MJF winning the casino gauntlet. He entered. He was whatever he was, 1 or 2, with Mark Briscoe. Also a fun match. We got a lot of people in it. Who looked good? I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I just remember the returning of Juice Robinson, but we have the
Juice Robinson is a totally different person.
Yeah, what the hell?
It seemed like he's going through a major character change because we got which also got the Guns showed up, right? The Guns showed up for this match, right? Okay. So we had the Guns come out to maybe help Juice Robinson, little Bullet Club Gold action. Love the Guns. But Juice Robinson shaved off the beard, hair a little neater, fully different gear. This is a different guy. This is a different wrestler.
I think you clocked it. I think you said he kind of looks a bit like Bo Dallas
a little
back
bit
in the day, and I'm like, yeah, that was nail on the head for sure. Look good. I'm a big fan of him. I definitely recall when I was still much of a AW stan, not stan, but like very much in tune to AW, and I was for sure a Collider for a bit too. I was actually at one point I was much so CM Punk's Collision over Dynamite. And one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen are Bullet Club Gold versus FTR, 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that match. I would love to watch it today. I probably will. He had a good showing. He did really good. And then too, have you ever seen his promo against Fred Rosser, formerly known as Darren Young?
No.
He was like, so I told my wife that I had a match against Fred Rosser, and she said, who? And I was like, one half the primetime players. She said, who? And millions of dollars. She said, who? And then the guy that goes, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. And she was, oh yeah, I kind of do know that. He goes, yeah, the other guy. I'm like, oh shit,
the other guy.
I don't know how long ago that was, but I seen that promo recently, and I'm like, oh, Juice Robinson's the fucking man for that. But yeah, this Casino Gauntlet match, pretty solid. Again, my only criticism was like the intervals were just very random and made me think like, at least tell us how many people are in the match, and then once they come out, like, oh, this is number whatever.
Go back to the names for me so I can kind of see. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. But yeah. So we got Ricochet in this. Takeshita, who I think was also a favorite to win. I love Takeshita. We got some Bowens and Max Caster storytelling, which I don't know if you caught Anthony Bowen's little promo after the show. No. It's on. It was basically just Bowens being like, I left the Acclaim to get away from Max Caster, and kind of calling out like Billy Gunn and his shit. Just basically calling out like them on his shit, and like I'm the guy, I'm the 5-tool player, so I think they're gonna lean into Max versus Bowens.
They deserve a singles feud to blow that tag team up, like absolutely.
Ibushi was in there. I thought that was great. I think we got a little bit of Ibushi Takeshita face off. Mystico was solid. And
Ricochet really impressed me in this match, and then with his new faction with the Gates of Agony, I think they're called. I think the Guns actually chased them off.
That's what it was. You're right. Yeah. That's what it was.
And then of course the MJF Mark Briscoe feud. Of course, leading into this, MJF got really personal, bringing up Mark's unfortunately deceased brother. I think with that much of a heat-seeking promo, they should absolutely continue this feud, and Mark Briscoe should get some licks back. He did in this match, but you know what I mean. Like a singles feud with these two, I think would bang. And then of course with how much bad blood there seemingly is now with them two, I think they owe it to Mark to give him some one-on-one time, if you will, and not talky talk time.
Talky talk
with MJF. Who won this match, which I think was the right choice, for sure.
He needs to be back in the world title picture. That's another name that we're talking about. As much as, every single person involved in that main event. Now you also have MJF lurking for a cash-in. Hurt Syndicate still dripped in gold, and then now you have MJF with the contract, which I think just makes Hurt Syndicate an even bigger deal. I'm sure someone's going to turn on someone. Someone's going to get jealous of someone's opportunity, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's why I really thought Jet Speed was going to win the tag team titles off of the Hurt Syndicate, because at that point for the Hurt Syndicate, they really don't fuck with MJF. They don't, especially Bobby Lashley. That is, and Bobby Lashley.
MVP loves him though.
He does.
MVP loves him.
Yeah, but even that feels a bit like fake love. I don't know what's going. I love that faction and the dynamic between those four men. But like, if they had lost the tag team titles, then like, why would you still be continue doing this, helping MJF? So I thought maybe we would have an opportunity there for them to drop the titles. I think Jet Speed's a good tag team, so I think
I like them.
Maybe they could eventually dethrone the Hurt Syndicate for the tag team titles. But yeah, I don't know how much longer the alliance between MJF and those men will last. But it's been a lot of fun, and MJF absolutely the cream of the crop in AEW, deserves to be in that world title picture for sure.
We will round out All In here talking about what I think was the most anticipated match of the weekend. Kazuchika Okada defeating Kenny Omega. They are now tied 2 wins to 1 tie. A big story here of Okada siding with Don Callis, going after Kenny's gut the whole time. I like this match a lot. I do think you made the point earlier. I do think it was really hurt by the length of the show, to a point where in the show I kind of got to a point like, let's get to the final 3. And then we got to this, and I was a little, plus we're on stream, and I was a little fatigued at this point.
It is the death spot. It is the match before the main event. They call that for a reason, where it's like,
this was after Toni Mercedes. Yeah. So I think it was put in a tough spot. I think they still definitely delivered. I would need to go back to their other matches, but I think my sentiment coming out of it was a great match, probably one of, if not the most technical matches of the weekend, especially on the card. And I think there's a grain of salt. You have to watch this match in 2025, right? This isn't Okada and Kenny in their prime. It's a different match than what they had in their other bouts, right? But I don't know. I'd be curious if I went and rewatched this, if I would like it more.
I think for sure.
Not that I disliked it. I did have a lot of fun with it. I think it was great.
But watching 5.5 hours of other matches and then watching this, like, all right.
And I do think it's not crazy to say that it is probably their, I don't know why I'm using that term, lackluster, but it's not up there for their best. And I think also,
of their matches, it's the 5th best.
I would imagine, right? And I think it was hurt. I think this could have used a little more time. As crazy as much as I'm saying, like, it was hurt by the length of the show.
Maybe less Don Callis.
A little more time, and I think a little less interference would have helped this. But hopefully, and again, as much as I did say this maybe was grain of salt because of these guys, not as much in their prime or in their prime, right? But I mean, we're getting a blow off. We're getting that final match, and I even like what you were saying. Again, I don't know if we can do 2 more matches, but I would like another draw, so they're 2-2-2, and get that real clean.
Game
one
7.
goes over. Game 7.
Let's go.
When that match is gonna happen, I don't know, but.
I prefer it to be down the road, maybe too. Build up to it.
I haven't seen like any talk about this match. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of discourse. So I think everyone's kind of on the same page of like, I'm glad we got it. I'm glad we got to see them wrestle in 2025. I don't know. I think expectations too were just so high because it is Kenny Okada. So I don't know. I'm curious kind of leave in the comments where you're at on this match. I don't know if we're kind of like the outliers, maybe not like being so hyped on it.
It's kind of too of like you're fusing 2 mid-card belts that both don't have much of history. Both those belts were fairly new belts, and now you're converging them because again, you kind of one of my criticisms of AEW is they had too many belts. So I think they step in the right direction combining these titles. I don't love the name. I think it's the Unified Championship.
Unified title. That's what it was. I said Undisputed earlier.
So yeah, and then also too, I'm sure a lot of people love the Jason Charles Miller entrance for Kenny. I love Kenny's actual entrance song, so I felt a little bit robbed, but it was very solid. Very nice to see Jim Ross back.
Yep, that was
cool. He just recovered off another cancer treatment, I think is the right terminology. Very happy to see him. Yeah, I think too for how legendary performers these two men are, I think if you were to kind of keep talking about this match, it deserves a rewatch because I was spent. I immediately was spent after this. But luckily, luckily Hangman and Moxley got me right back up. But yeah, I'm very curious to see where they go from here with Okada being the champ and how that's defended. Of course, I remember Tony Khan saying that this is now kind of like a world title adjacent title, which like I think is very silly.
I did hear too it is going to be under Continental Champ. It's going to be treated like the Continental Championship.
Okay.
Where I think the it gets defended. I forget what the stipulation. Like I don't know. It's way more focused on people.
There's specific rules for the matches.
I think so, right? Yeah, and it's like that's always like one country versus another sort of thing.
Okay,
I don't know. Okay. As much as I did have Omega winning, but I do think Okada was the right choice. I think we were even talking on stream. He does just have a little bit more, even like last week. He does just have a little bit more in the tank, and I think he will be a fighting champion. And don't love him with Don Callis, but like I like the story and the promo package of like Kenny being like, you had to go to the most evil side and like da-da-da. So like it all worked out storyline wise, but I also definitely agree that I could have used a little less involvement in the actual match. But I think you're right though. I think this is worth a rewatch. And yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up the show. I think we were talking the other day of like, geez, is this gonna be another 2-hour one?
Where we at?
We're getting close. We're at 150.
Okay.
Which is where we were last episode. We're beating last episode probably, but we're not gonna talk too much about this. I don't think we need to. It's the only thing we're talking about on Saturday Night's Main Event. I know there were other results, but this is the length of the show. Gunther defeats Goldberg in his retirement match, sends him home. Goldberg goes out looking at the lights. I think this was, we're an hour 50 minutes in. I don't feel like getting on my soapbox. I'm not going to. I put out a tweet that was fairly well received. That was of your 10K likes. I think my 600 likes was my banger.
Let's go.
Of the weekend. But
yeah, Goldberg. Fine match. It was a fine match. He showed out.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining, and the kid in me came out, and mid-watch, I was like, do I want Goldberg to win this world title?
Yeah.
And fun.
I think at that point, too, we were so delusional, and so just like, let's just lean into the chaos. We're like, fuck it.
It was post 8 hours of All In, and then, of course, we had just watched the Seth Rollins, LA Knight, the injury, so we were just like,
we were going to fried. we weren't going to stream Saturday's Main Event, and then we're just like, well, it's on. Here. And it's like, wow, that's why I just watch it. All credit to Goldberg. I'm not a this person can wrestle a broomstick sort of person. Like it does take two to tango. However, I do agree that part of wrestling, and I'd say the biggest part of wrestling isn't making you look good. It's making your opponent look good. So that's the mark of a good wrestler. Mm-hmm. Gunther got a pretty decent Saturday Night's main event out of Goldberg. He hit a spear. He got him up for a jackhammer. Yeah, this was fun. It's what it needed to be. I can't reiterate enough that it was a Saturday Night's Main Event, fun, nothing show. None of this meant anything. It wasn't supposed to, and it was just supposed to be a show that's on NBC. It's barely canon, and it's just supposed to be a good time, and that's what it was for the most part. I'll
say this: I can watch Goldberg barricade spots until I die and be.
I can't believe. I don't know why he did that. He did go through the barricade. Yeah, crazy, insane.
Yeah, but didn't spear Gunther through it. Just went by himself, which I thought was like, damn, that's a tough one. Also, too, I do have to laugh in Bret Hart a little bit. Mm-hmm. Charles Robinson, broken ribs. Get well soon, my friend. He took the spear from Goldberg. Actually cracked his ribs. So
did he really?
He did.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah. So speed recovery for little Nate Charles Robinson. I'm sure.
Crazy.
I'm sure it wasn't anything that Goldberg did specifically, but when you are, at Charles' age and you get hit with a freaking
Charles
spear
is a mad
from
man.
Goldberg, it's gonna. I mean, the John Cena bump at Night of Champions was a tough one too.
Yeah.
He got up there and whatever. So respect to Charles Robinson, respect to Goldberg. Although unfortunately, I would have. The thing is too, it was so jarring to me because seemingly the Seth's injury was real and that match got cut short. You had so much time for Goldberg and Gunther the match, of course all your commercials and the post-match, which was about Goldberg giving a speech to his hometown crowd, which I thought the full speech was pretty beautiful, but we get Made in Georgia, show's over right away. Me and you look at each other like, what the heck's going on here?
I mean, I think, to be honest with you, and maybe I'm just looking at this in like a funny glass, but it's fully on WWE for not like here's what I think happened is like when the Seth Rollins injury happened and we're getting to the main event, we were kind of like, oh, we have 40 minutes left. So my guess is, well, one, they definitely extended commercials. Two, entrances, they took their time, again, cut to commercial.
Some Evolution promos.
Sure. And then and I'm sure this match got extended a little bit more than what it was, and props to both those guys for kind of doing all that on the fly, especially Goldberg.
Absolutely.
I think I saw a tweet that was like Triple H going to Goldberg and be like, hey, your 5-minute match is now going to be a 20-minute match. Good luck. But with all of that, it seemed like to me maybe they extended the match to cover time, and they extended it too much, for then they ran into running out of time again.
Yeah.
But so it's on WWE for not pacing it as well, but the annoying thing that is to me is just like, well, yeah, it's on NBC. They have a hard cutoff at 10 o'clock. So it's like, it's not like they were on Netflix or even USA, or maybe they could have went a little bit over. They had a hard cutoff, which I don't think it's nothing. I'm not discrediting, and it's NBC's rules. It's NBC. It's TV, prime time TV. It's TV rules. It's on WWE for maybe not like getting the pacing fully right, but like, yeah, I agree with you. It did stink that we didn't get a full uncut and as much time as we needed, because it did feel like even Cole was, I think, kind of just like, oh, let's wrap it up, like, oh, let's go.
It's chaos.
Yeah, we definitely did. He definitely did deserve like a calm retirement speech. He thanked Georgia. He thanked everyone, whatever. So that part did kind of stink of like, oh, we didn't get like the perfect send off in terms of that on TV.
But hey, beautiful setup for WrestleMania 42. Gunther versus Gage Goldberg, perhaps.
That kid's massive. That's a big kid.
It's a big kid.
But yeah, is he training? Is that like the word?
I think he has dreams to be an NFL player first.
Okay,
but then if that doesn't work out, which doesn't work out for many people, I'm still trying to get signed to a team. So, yeah. But so if that doesn't work out, I think he has a full career ahead of him in this industry. So.
But yeah, this match was. I think I'm glad to see it exceeded a lot of people's expectations. I was glad to see people be like, "Oh wow, that was actually
shocker."
Yeah, but yeah. Well, I think that's the show, folks. Again, not all these episodes are going to be this long, but when there's 48 hours of wrestling crammed into that time,
right? I can imagine next week's episode we probably maybe cut in half, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll probably be closer to and we'll have predictions probably following that.
Oh, true. Jesus.
Yeah, but
SummerSlam's around the corner,
which is crazy. Folks, join us over on the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We have a Q&A over there. We're gonna be chatting about the weekend, what's been going on, and doing some more wrestling sort of chats and Q&As and whatnot over there. Follow us on everything. You get the deal. Everything's in the description. And we'll see you next time. Leave your comments with what you thought was your favorite match of the weekend, all that stuff. We'll see you next time. We'll get out of here. We'll see you on the Patreon. Until next time, boom. Bye.
When she's fiending on your Slim Jim Cricket wireless style and her tongue jelly rolls its way on your Prime logo.
Birds in the Trap say McKnight and Isaiah Rashad's The Sun's Tirade came out on the same day. To no one, I went, damn, I thought Batista was about to come out. And then my friend who was right next to me, she goes, can you go 3 fucking hours?
Also, too, I would love to parlay any kind of like somewhat fame from this to then be on the show. You might lose me for 3 months, Sean. I hope
we'll have the live feed Jimmy from the Q Trapper the whole time.